and gentlemen, welcome to 3D Singapore. I'm the Drunken Dad, and we have TY and Angmodan. And obviously, one
Hello.
very obvious change that we have today is that we all have a very proper mic. In fact, we always have proper mics every now and then. It's just that sometimes, for example, if I'm in school, I'll use my very lousy, headset that I sounds like a telephonist or something. But yeah, because we receive a feedback saying that we should have a proper mic. That's why we are using a proper mic. How do we sound like? Do I sound good?
I think
Good.
we all sound
Sexy.
very good.
Too
I
sexy
also
for
think
my
so.
love. Too sexy for my love.
Yeah.
Love going to it.
Okay, so same thing. We're gonna roll the dice and see how long. Even though we really don't care, but how long is our
Topic first.
recording gonna be? No, we're gonna roll the dice first. Come.
Okay. Yay.
Which is kind of impossible. 10 minutes. I think this topic we can do at least 15. 15 to 20.
I realize all the sci-fi topics, right? We get very short timing. Why?
Yeah, because they think that we shouldn't. There's some topic that we shouldn't discuss.
Yeah.
It's out of this world. We shouldn't discuss too much about it.
Yeah.
But anyway, ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen, okay, counting down now. I put 15 minutes because I think 10 minutes is too short. Okay, so today's topic, we're gonna talk about eating insects because recently on the 5th of July, SFA has finally approved to import the usage and also to produce insects related food. So meaning edible insects. So next time in the future in Singapore, you can actually see insects that's edible on the table served as a food. So today we're going to discuss about this, and specifically why did I suggest about this? Because when the news came out, right, the second day, as a media, I actually went out to try, and this is the very first time in the world in my life, not in the world in my life, that I've ever tried an insect.
Oh,
Of course,
okay.
not by accidentally. It's like really purposely. And then I have tried silkworm, and I have tried cricket, and it's an African cricket. So cricket, there are a few types, right? There's like house cricket, which is smaller, and there's African cricket, which is like this size and it's black, and the taste
Right.
is different. And
Wow.
I would say I don't really enjoyed it. I mean, first of all, there are several applications so called that you can use. So if you remember, people will go to Thailand or Cambodia or Southeast Asia country, like they'll go to the street market and say, hey, why not I dare you to eat this spider or scorpion or cricket. It's like a game thing. It's not like a cuisine that you will enjoy. Okay, this is the first type. Second type, if you go to China, there's some parts of China they actually serve like silkworm, stir fry silkworm or mala cricket as like a real cuisine. And a lot of my friends who actually tried before said that it's actually very nice. So you just imagine shellfish, right? Stir fry in mala. It's similar
Right.
taste to them. It's like that.
Hmm.
And then the third kind is they actually bake the insects, right? And then they make it into powder, and then they make it
Okay.
into granola or like energy
Right.
bar. So when you taste it, which I tasted as well, you don't really feel the difference. Like it just tastes like chocolate or matcha or whatever flavor that they use. So today I want to discuss this with you. Do you guys buy the idea of having insects as one of your cuisines? I don't know. Maybe
First thing
TY
first,
first.
I
Yes.
see African cricket online and they have horns, spikes on their body. Is that correct?
Actually, I'm not. It's black in color, lah, and they already. Okay,
Oh.
so right now, right, there's no farm in Singapore that can that have the real like live insects. There's no
But you
like
eat the
insects
shell and
farm.
everything, right?
So no. So what we
Yeah.
ate is already produced overseas. So what I ate was like just imagine it's like a dried shrimp, like a tidbits like that. It's like a chip, like a popcorn. Yeah. So
Okay.
I think maybe the horn or whatever they already clean it. So it's not like.
Well, I think it's quite hard to clean.
But you just can see the head and the body and the wing, and it's
Okay.
just ooh. I can't.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I will eat hygienic, clean food, as long as not human, cats, dogs. Yeah.
So you will just eat. So to you, it's not like you don't feel scared or you won't ask the question why should I eat this?
No, I think I
You
will eat
won't
it.
really. Can you imagine that thing with ang ku kueh? Okay, I'm gonna show you the video. I'm gonna download from my folder and I'm gonna show you guys what I have eaten the other day. Okay, what about then? Let me just find.
He
I
eats
will.
anything.
I will, and I have. 20 years ago, I was one of the mad dudes in Cambodia that went to the food stall and tried the bamboo worm and the cricket, and it was just fried in the oil, and it was crunchy, and it was like a crisp, or a French fry. Well, yeah, crisp, really. Yeah, quite nice.
Yeah.
And as Tanielle says, if it's clean and it's been treated. Now that because I've had a little brief look into this. There's lots of pros, and the cons are you got to be very careful with cleanliness because bacteria, because these insects eat shit basically. They eat mo- decaying flesh, and they just
No. Yeah.
disgusting
No,
things. So
but that's
you've got to
but
make
that's the
sure that
thing.
yeah.
The so-called insects farm means that they are being treated as if
Mm,
it's a food product. So if
mm,
they have to build like a insect farm in Singapore, right? They have to build like if you were to enter, you have to wear your
yeah,
gloves and all the SFF regulations. So these
right.
insects are the cleanest
Yeah,
Hygienic.
insect in the world.
they're farmed
Yeah.
insects, so they're in their own ecosystem where they're not eating shit and crap and
Yes.
decaying
Yes.
and such. So and actually, there's a risk of that in any type of food anyway. In terms of how clean food is,
Yeah.
that's something else that. So I would eat it, but it's all about a balanced diet. And okay,
What's that?
Do you see that? I'm so
yeah,
That's
sorry.
some worm, right?
So this is one of the restaurants in Singapore who is the only restaurant who announced that they will definitely have this in their menu. This is Onde obviously, and that is the African cricket that I tried. Um, and then let me just continue. And then that is a super worm. This thing is called super worm and it's sticking out from the ang ku kueh and they're gonna serve like this. I mean, I don't know. You know what I said to my reporters? I said,
Yeah.
if you just came from a crime scene, you
It
just
looks like that.
reported in a crime scene,
It's
and
like that,
then
right?
you're moving, and then you come to this, and then you can you imagine you're gonna eat this? I
Yeah.
don't know.
So,
Yeah, I can.
so I think they are. It's a bit distasteful. I mean,
Yeah.
you can process the food, stuff it inside as fillings, but why treat it like it's warming out from the food? You know, it's,
yeah,
Okay. I interviewed the boss, and you know what the boss said? He said
it's
initially
provocative.
they did what TY suggested. So they actually put in the food or they blended it or something, and then they just stir fry the mee goreng or your fried rice, right? And then they let people try, and then the
You can
people,
tell.
right, like the shoppers, they say, no, I can't tell. I mean, then what's so special about this? You must show me. You must show me. Then eventually they show. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know. I don't know who are the people, but I don't think it's a good idea.
yeah. So it's like a typical Asian Chinese thing. You know, you eat the duck meat, you hang the entire duck, chicken, the pigs. Whereas the Western, they process the meat and everything. You don't get to see the
Yeah,
head. Well, except for the French and Spanish, maybe you see the rabbit skull and
yeah,
everything.
yeah. So this is what I ate. You see that sandwich behind with the silkworm?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and then we're out. We can see you are using the elgato, and then after that, that croissant, that one is with the
Croissant, yeah.
cricket. Yeah. So
And what's
and
that
I
in the croissant?
it is the cricket, lor, the African cricket.
That's a
So there are two
cricket.
types of
Okay. Can't really tell. Or
cricket.
Lulu.
If you see all the way behind the sandwich, right, the egg mayo thing, that is a small cricket, like a house cricket, which is this size.
Right.
but the one in front is this big, this size.
The
It's like a
Puyi
bee.
one,
It's like a
the
hornet.
one behind is Puyi.
I don't know.
Puyi keep his cricket in his little case.
Oh, yeah.
The small one.
So
Right.
this was what I tried. I yeah. So my first thought is the same as TY. I was like, if this is a nice food, why do you have to make it so I'm I don't know. It's not very pleasing, I would
Provocative
say.
lah. Yeah.
It's not but again
Mm.
I thought probably it's because like, people ask for it. That's why the boss said that, if they ask for it, then I'll do it for you.
Yeah, it's just the trend now. They are the first. They want
Yeah.
to make a statement.
Yeah. But of course I think why people should be asking like why are we eating insects, because the second question they asked, of course the first question after I came back from the tasting, they asked me how does it taste like, right? Then I'll say like "Bleh, bleh." Then after that, the second question they ask is why are we eating insects? Is it like because we're out of the food, or is it because it's a sustainability, is about the environment again? So the main reason of eating insect is because the protein content of insect is very high. Okay, this is what I get from the interviews. Okay, so first of all, for example, if we compare, right, 100 gram of beef, like if you go to gym, right, you take beef or you take your salmon, for example,
Mm.
100 gram of salmon or beef will contain around 21 grams of protein, but 100 gram of cricket will contain around 70 grams of protein. So that's like 3 times more. So
Mm.
basically, the idea, which I think is more logical way, another company, they are doing the powder. So what they're
Mm.
suggesting is they will add this powder into the protein bar. So for those gym goer, right, instead of like eating a lot of meat and all, you just eat your protein bar. And frankly, I told the person, I said, if the protein bar, right, like Snickers, imagine with like a cartoon cricket playing guitar and put there, made from cricket, I think I'll eat, as long as it's not scary. You know what I mean? It's
Mm.
as long as it's not a real cricket kind of photo or whatever that you Google. If it's a cartoon one and then it tastes just like chocolate bar, I'll eat. And because it
Mm.
increase your protein level, I thought it's
Mm.
like okay. Yeah. But of course the environmental part, what they're suggesting is because, for example, if you were to go into like to rear a cow or all this, right, you requires more land, more water
Mm.
and stuff. But cricket, the other day I went to a cricket farm that wasn't meant for human, it was meant for like more animals or like your pets and all, right. One box, just imagine one Toyogo box, right, it has 3,000 crickets. I was like, how many crickets are there? There are 3,000. I'm like, how many crickets are there in your whole factory, so called your farm? There's like more than, I don't know how many hundred thousands of them. So
Yeah,
like
but
just
you
a small warehouse, you have a lot of that. That's what I think they
yeah
are
yeah,
suggesting.
but one cricket is not does not equate to one cow. So
Yeah,
you need
that's
thousands of
true.
crickets. Yeah.
Yeah. But because like cricket, right? If you take
Mm.
out all their fresh, which is not a lot, right? What they're
Mm.
left with is really protein. So what they're
Yes.
arguing is like 70% of their body, right, is protein. So if you just take out their whatever fresh and all, right, it's quite a lot of them. Like, but a
Right.
cow, I mean, of course, a cow, there are several parts to it. It's just that to rear a cow, as compared to a cricket, it's just different. Like, a cow
Yeah,
takes maybe longer time.
I'd probably be happier if they did it like a box of crickets equals a cow or something. They did it on scale
Ah,
rather than did one
ah.
cricket. I'd rather them doing say, okay, we can fit 1,000 crickets in this box, and that's
Yeah.
enough protein to equivalent to 2 cows or whatever. I don't know
Mm,
the maths.
mm,
So they
mm,
because people, yeah, I'm a bit skeptical with that with I'd be worried that they're trying to hide something because one cricket has all the legs and the stuff, and you take off that, but obviously that cricket is consuming a space in a factory.
mm,
So
mm,
I want to say, okay, we've got 1,000, as I said, 1,000 crickets. This is enough
mm,
protein equivalent, but it's only a small box compared to a big cow. That they should do it
mm,
like that. That would be
mm, mm.
a better selling point, I feel.
Yeah. I think they are also not trying to. I think they also think that people might be skeptical about the environmental part, so they are not pie. They are not focusing on that. They really focus on the protein content.
Yeah, that's a
Like,
problem. That's a
like,
good that's a
yeah.
good tactic. I mean, that would make it a little bit more. Yeah, as you say,
Mm,
there's a lot on the environment, and we don't want. Yeah, we want to have our beef. We want to have our pork chops. We want to, we
yeah.
want to enjoy the nice food. So
Yeah.
you kind of you want to sell it. It's interesting how they're because the presentation's interesting because with vegetarian food, they
Mm,
are making vegetarian food look like
Real
well,
food.
especially real
Tastes like
food,
real food.
especially here in Singapore. And so,
mm,
you go to the vegetarian stall, and their burgers look like a burger, and you
mm.
know that. So, um, maybe they should. But you said they do that, but and then people are just like, well, yeah, it's all right. It tastes okay.
Yeah. Which is a bit different. Like, yeah, that's
Well,
the
this
thing,
article
right?
is not new. I think back in the days when I was in the facilities, we read about sustainability and how rabbits can replace chicken, and rearing rabbits is more efficient because there are some frisky animals, and they're quiet. They're not smelly like chicken. Yeah. Okay,
15
screw the date.
minutes.
Screw the timing. Yeah. So and then you can have rabbits in high rise. They're quiet. They can be your neighbor can be a rabbit farm without smelling like you are staying beside a farm. So
But
I think
rabbit can
there were
be really
articles like
smelly
that.
as well, I must say.
Sure,
It's
but not
just
as
that
noisy as chicken.
yeah, they're not noisy.
Yeah, and
Yeah, they
they
can be
really
smelly
populate
as well.
very fast.
Oh,
So
that's true.
and the skin they can use it for
For
you know
fur, for whatever,
fashion.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, of course they have no eggs. Then that's another thing. So it, I when I eat steak, I don't go for the protein. I go for the taste. Right.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
Mm.
yeah, and if you really want to do bodybuilding, I don't think I will eat steak because it's not economical. I'll probably go for egg white, chicken breast, and then
Yeah.
if we have this
What about cricket protein
insects,
bar?
huh?
Cricket protein bar.
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
Right. It's like I think if they are very results focused, like people who are really very particular about the numbers, about the protein and stuff, I think that this will work. And this is actually the actual market that they should focus on instead of the gimmicky worm sticking out of ang ku kueh or
yeah,
those. I don't think that will actually because at the first sight, I don't even feel like trying it anymore. Like
yeah.
they were trying to tell me that the fried rice is nice. Then I was telling them the fried rice is
Fried
nice.
rice.
Fried rice is nice. It's not because of the worm or the insects. It's because of the rice itself. You know, they are a
Mm.
big restaurant. Of course, their fried rice is nice, right? It's like you go to your Ding Tai Fung. Of course, the fried rice is nice. But if they
Yeah.
add in the, I don't know.
So it's
I'm
gonna have the
doubtful.
wordplay. Fried rice, fried
Fried rice.
rice.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think it's the whole eat human what humans eat and what they find disgusting is actually a very fascinating thing. Is different cultures. I mean, other cultures in I think Africa and Asia have been eating insects forever.
Yep.
So and they're the wild type of insects, not properly farmed and then, as you mentioned before, Tin Yao, you said you won't eat cat, you won't eat dog, but obviously there's some cultures that will, and
Yeah.
we as a culture have decided that the what we eat. If you got there's that. I don't know if you've ever seen that picture of there's a cow, a sort of a cow, a chicken, and then a
Mm,
rabbit, then a dog, then a cat, and then basically the line. There's a line where do you put the line? Where do you stop? When does it become edible or a pet?
mm.
And it's all basically what I'm saying is all relative, isn't it? You
Yeah, it depends on how
you
hungry
can
you
put
are.
it you can put it up to the dog because some
Yeah.
cultures do, but we see cats and dogs as pets and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
lovable part of our family. We won't want to eat them. and so with insects, it's not the same, because I think everyone would have the same kind of disgust, except for people that have been eating them. But
Yeah.
again, I like this topic because I've been in Southeast Asia for over 20 years, so I'm like, yeah, I don't, I
Yeah.
wouldn't, I don't have that disgust reflex really.
TY,
Okay,
TY.
I was just watching Joe Rogan Experience today. He interviewed Yeon Mi Park. This is a North Korean babe deflector. Now she's in US. So she was recounting her lives in North Korea. They have, as a family, right? Each family have to submit 1 ton of human poop annually to the government because they have no fertilizers,
Mm.
right?
Oh,
And you
okay.
don't get stray dogs or cats on the street because they have no food.
Mm.
And if they go to the black market to buy food, the cheaper ones, they won't ask what food, what meat those were. Yeah, it can be cat, dog, humans, you don't know. And she was recounting like the kids, they had nothing to do. They go around catching rats or field rats or any kind of rats. They catch it, they grill it, they eat it, they fall sick, they die, the rats eat them. And it's their everyday. So here, if you ask them, ask the North Koreans, the starving North Korean, hey, you mean you eat dogs, cats? I say, well, yeah, of course. They have no other food.
And
Right.
and since you mentioned this, right, interestingly, because of the interview, I found out that I don't know whether you guys know, during the American colonial era, lobsters were considered as garbage meat because lobsters, just like prawn, right, they eat all the garbage in the sea.
Yeah.
So just like insects does, they are like the sea insects, right? So
Yeah.
the lobsters were served to servants, prisoners, or poor family who couldn't afford anything. So
Where
they argue
where is
that
this?
this was during the colonial time in America. In
America.
America,
Okay.
yeah. So
Well,
if
that's
they
yeah.
live near the coast, right? If the family live near the coast, they actually capture lobsters and use as fertilizer or fish bait instead of consuming them because to them this is like garbage. Like they compare this to the insects. Like imagine
Right.
last time people used to think that this lobsters is like garbage, it's like insects. But now we are consuming them just like very expensive stuff. But what if insects are the same? Then maybe 50 years down the road, people will be like, oh, this is the golden African cricket. You know, this costs $50 per gram. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Ju- And just like I think I read there's this book on maritime
Mm,
called 1642 or 1612. I can't remember. Basically, it's a retired U.S. Navy commander or something like that. So his hypothesis, his theory was about the fact that Zheng He or Cheng
mm,
Ho
mm,
first went to United States and not Columbus. And
mm,
we're talking about a few hundred years earlier than Columbus, right? But okay, so what I'm trying to say is that in the diary, he recounted that the Chinese eat this sea produce that the Western do not eat,
mm,
and they treat it like a delicacy. And
mm,
even today, is considered a delicacy. It is
mm.
the sea no, not sea urchin, sea cucumber.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah, because it's like cow dung, right,
mm,
floating, and
mm.
the Chinese even today we treat sea cucumber as delicacies.
Yep.
Yeah. Then do you eat sea cucumbers?
Have you tried before?
I have tried. I've tried. I didn't like it too. Yeah, but I was just going back to the interesting about the scorpion, not scorpions. The
Cricket.
crabs and the lobsters. They actually are classified in the same family as insects,
Crustacean.
Yes.
arthropods. So they've all got
Yeah.
exoskeletons. So they
Right.
are the crabs and your lobsters are the insects of the sea. So yeah, I mean these are probably arguments you could try and make to convince people. You know, you're happy to eat a crab and the lobster, so these
Yeah.
are the
Why
same
not?
family.
Why not the
Yeah,
cousins?
why not? Yeah, cousins.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
even today you have people who are more particular. They don't eat spring onions, right? Veggie. They pick them out from their food. So
coriander.
it's,
I hate
I guess
coriander.
they're just not hungry enough.
Maybe.
Well,
I mean,
and the other thing, I suppose, I wonder if they talked to you about this, but there are different types of insects, and not all of them are edible. So you have to choose wisely. Just like you can't choose, like toadstools compared to mushrooms.
No.
You can eat mushrooms, but if you eat a toadstool, you're dead.
yeah.
So you might. I think bumblebees go into the realm of you don't want to eat a bumblebee because it's got sort of poisonous sort of
Right.
parts to it that are meant to kill a predator if they try and attack. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yes. So, basically, there are only 16 approved species that is approved by SFA.
interesting.
You can go to like Straits Times, The Bar, or quite a lot of media that actually cover it, and specifically what are the 16 types. Like for
Right.
example, even crickets,
Cockroaches.
there are like 3 types of no cockroaches. I've already checked. Don't worry. Okay. Like worms, there are like few types of worms. Like silkworm, there are few types of
Lizards.
silkworms. Yeah, this is something different as compared to, for example, pork. If you consume pork, right, you don't like say, oh,
What
what kind of
species?
pork that you approve or you don't approve. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
The
when it
black
comes to
pig.
insects, it's very, very specific. They will go down to the species, like specifically this is approved, this is not. It's just a mushroom, I will assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even plants.
Yeah. All right, everybody.
Okay.
See you guys next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your insects.
Next week, so
Bye.
Enjoy. Try.